Hey friends, and welcome to another Upcycle by Bri. Today we're going to roll with that spring theme. I have got an old window that we are going to add some linen transfers to. I have got some old candlesticks. Nobody wanted them. We're going to make them into some cute plant stands. And we are going to put the IOD Queen Bee stamp on those. But before we do, we'll cover it with a coat of liquid sunshine. Check out that color. This is one of my favorites from DIY Paint. Of course, you'll be able to find the link for that below in my description box. And if you're new around here, you can find me on social media at Upcycled by Bri. Let's go ahead and get right into these projects. All right, down in my garage, and I'm feeling like a window project. So what I have left are like 6 and 8 panes, and then I have some of these 2 panes. And I've struggled to find ideas for the 2 panes, but I came up with something that's going to be perfect for spring. So we'll grab one of those. And then my friend Sarah is awesome and hooked me up with some spools, empty spools here. So we are going to combine that with some candlesticks and make an awesome little plant stand. I'm going to give the window a good vacuum. I love my Craftsman cordless vac. By the way, if you've been looking for a new vacuum, highly recommend it. A little bit of Windex to clean the glass well. Today I am using the IOD transfer in lemon drops. I'm going to play around with the design of these lemons. Notice how I have cut the transfer apart. You can totally make your own design. You don't have to just take the transfer straight from the paper, chop it up, use different pieces, make it your own. Now it's time to transfer the image onto our glass. Using this transfer stick that comes with your transfer, I'm going to start pressing and rubbing until the image breaks away from the paper and starts sticking to my glass. I love how easy these transfers are to use. Here you can see that I'm bending the paper around the wood of this window to make it look like the leaf is actually growing straight out of the wood. Super cool. Once your image is transferred, you will take a clean cloth, here I just have a paper towel, and burnish the image. So I am just rubbing it gently over, making sure the whole transfer has adhered nicely to my glass. Down in the right hand corner, I want to use my Cricut to make a word. I chose the word hello, so I'm just measuring about how big I want it. My favorite process of the whole Cricut is weeding out my image. Super satisfying. What about you? Do you have a Cricut at home? Taking a well-loved piece of transfer tape, I am using my little Cricut tool and transferring that vinyl onto my transfer tape. I will then take my transferred image out to my glass and we will get it applied. I'm digging through my stash of hooks here to find a few to put onto the window frame. I want to be able to hang things like keys or a mask, but also I have an ugly old alarm system I'm needing to hide. Once I've got those hooks on, I am measuring to make sure when I hang the window up, it's going to be even and secure. And that was my little happy dance for getting this hung up straight on the first try. Now, this is the old box I was telling you about. Of course, plans are to take that out and replace the light switches, but we had some more important priorities first. For now, we're just going to use this old fryer basket. I am going to use my DIY Dark and Decrepit to age it a bit, and then we are going to add a fun belt handle. I love to pick belts up when I'm thrifting, but especially at estate sales and garage sales, you can get awesome leather belts for next to nothing. So on this one, I am cutting it apart. You can see on the other side, I have already attached it. I'm going to need to clip off a few little pieces of the metal here, so I'm using my wire snips for that. We will thread the belt through, and then I'm using an upholstery tack to clamp it all down. Sorry, this is a bit hard to see, but once I have that tack through, I'm taking my needle nose pliers and bending the pointy end of the tack over, then pinching the whole tack shut so it clamps closed around the belt. It's the perfect size. Now the fun part, we get to start staging and styling. If you are anything like me, you will switch your decor up a few times before the season's actually over. And I think I want to add a little something in the blank space between the milk can and my basket. But overall, I am very pleased with how this entryway came out. This split entry level is tough to decorate, but I think this added a nice little touch of spring cheer. What do you think? Project number 2. I've got my DIY Dark and Decrepit. Here's a video on how to use it. I stained the spools with it. I've got liquid sunshine and an IOD Queen Bee stamp. Look at this color. It is beautiful and goes perfect with my lemons. So these are going to get 2 coats. I'm not being too careful because I'm going to go ahead and rough them up with some 120 grit sandpaper. I am very sorry that this clip didn't record, but I used a product called Bondo to fill the left candlestick because it had a big opening where the thread used to be. The right one I could use a screw, the left one I had to fill the hole for the screw to be able to go in. I've got some Gorilla Clear Grip glue. I'm going to apply that first, just for some extra adhesion before we screw everything down. And of course, with DIY paint, I can paint right over this metal and not be afraid that it's going to come off. Once it's cured, it will be on there for good. I have a few different sets, but I do think IOD Queen Bee is my favorite stamp set. I did a little set of plant stands like this last summer and they went pretty quick, so I have no doubt these will too. They will be available for local pickup only. They will be at my Adams location next week. So once I played around and figured out my layout, I've got the black IOD ink and my brayer. I've put some ink down on this paper plate. I will roll it out evenly, and then I will use the brayer to apply the ink to my stamp. When applying the ink, I am not using a lot of pressure. I am gently rolling over just to get the details of the stamp. And I do kind of a crosshatch pattern when I'm applying the ink. I go horizontal and vertical to get all of those little details. Once I have the ink on the stamp, I'm going to take it and place it down without shifting. Once it's in place, I will hold it with one finger to keep it secure, then take my other fingers tapping up and down. We call this tickling the stamp, making sure I get a good even coverage across the whole surface of the stamp. It takes a little practice, takes some patience, but it's totally doable, I promise. The bee was a little tricky because I was applying it over the washer, which obviously was a raised surface. So I picked the stamp up and put it down a couple times, which you've got to be careful, otherwise you'll just blur your image. And there was still a little gap there, but don't you worry, I've got the magic coming up, which is DIY wax. Of course, it is super easy to work with, VOC free, just like the paint. You can find the colors on my website, upcycledbybri.com, and I also have wax in stock at my booths here in Topeka, Kansas. So I'm starting with a coat of clear wax. That's going to help me be able to control that black wax a lot better. If I get a little too much black wax on, I can always take some clear wax over the top and use it as an eraser. So just covering the whole thing with the clear wax, and to be honest, I think I had some white wax in this brush. So it's okay, it totally is just adding to the depth and dimension here. You can see the difference between the left and the right. The left has wax, the right doesn't. And this is only clear wax. I haven't even got the black wax on here yet. I'm just kind of getting in the nooks and crannies, making sure I get any extra wax off of it. But it brings out the distressing, it brings out those stamps, it brings out the richness. And look, as I am holding up that paper towel, that ink is not budging. I'm bringing you in close so you can see how this black wax is going on. This is gorgeous. It reminds me, of course, totally of a honeybee with the black and yellow, but that black wax also gives some age to this yellow paint, which makes it blend with that silver candlestick so much better. I am loving it. Look at the difference. I brought these tables outside. It's a gorgeous morning here in Kansas, and I wanted you to see them in the sunshine. I love the way they came out. I will have everything linked down below, the paint and the waxes that I used, so you can check those out. And again, if you're local, these will be available at Adams this week. I don't know about y'all, but I am so ready for spring, and I hope this video brought you some inspiration to go out and create some beautiful spring decor of your own. Again, if you're new around here, please subscribe, hit that like, and set that notification bell to all so you don't miss any new videos. Thursday, I will be back with a ginormous free haul. Y'all, I cannot believe the stuff I got. You won't want to miss out on that. So until then, I'll see you later. Bye, friends.